Dave, the EU's been trying to coordinate this better between member states. How's that going so far?
Not terribly well. They have come out with this color coding system that's trying to solve the problem in that all the different EU member states are advising or requiring various things based on a color coding system, green, yellow, and red. Here in Belgium, for instance, if you go to an area that's been deemed red, you have to quarantine and get tested when you come back. The problem is every country seems to have a different definition of what a red country is. And so the EU is urging countries to all work off the same sheet here and use these European Centers for Disease Control guidance, the zones that they've defined. But so far, I've been hearing from EU sources, national governments just really aren't heeding these pleas for coordination here. They're still largely acting all their own and not coordinating, not even coordinating with neighbors. It's something that's really frustrating EU officials here.
Dave, what about the EU institutions themselves? Have they been affected by COVID?
Yes, very much in the last days. One of the commissioners has now been diagnosed with COVID-19. And so the meetings here in the commission behind me have had to be curtailed. Up till now, low-level civil servants have been meeting online, but high-level cabinets and the commissioners themselves have been meeting in person. Now, those weekly meetings of the 27 commissioners have to be in person. That's a legal requirement, so those will continue in person, obviously not with the commissioner who's been diagnosed, but cabinet-level meetings will now move to online. Meanwhile, we have the European Parliament. It looks like they're set to return to Strasbourg, France, next week. This has been a big controversy. They stopped going in March because of the pandemic. The French government has been really leaning on the European Parliament to go back there because it is a legal requirement that they hold their monthly plenary sessions in Strasbourg. It looks like they're going to go ahead with that next week, even though there's grave misgivings about that. Meanwhile, also the European Council will be resuming meetings in Luxembourg. That's also a treaty requirement. Also, people are questioning why people are making this big decampment from here down to Luxembourg this month for ministerial meetings. That's meetings of all EU agriculture ministers, that type of thing, for instance. It's a lot of travel for EU civil servants that people are really worried is going to increase the infection rate within these EU institutions, which is already rising. So there's a bit of rising concern about that.
Dave, thanks so much for that. Dave Keanting there reporting from Brussels.